Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what dating life was like in Japan. Now, I talked in the prior video about loneliness in Japan, and it's how it was hard to make connections with people, good, solid connections. And this is also true of dating. I had dated a few different people during my time there, but never had anything, really solid in terms of a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. And this was for a variety of reasons. Obviously, language barriers going to play key to everything when you're abroad. That aside, and cultural side, it's a mixed bag. And for example, I remember going to a meetup once that was on a rooftop of this apartment building held by this, I think it was an Australian expat, Ken, I believe was his name. Really cool guy, had a lot of good events and tons of events. And I remember being there, having a couple beers, having some barbecue, hanging out. And I remember I was texting some friends, I think back in China and in the US, telling them, hey man, Japan, I'm in Japan and I'm doing this. And at a certain point I remember looking up and I was completely surrounded by women. And I thought, wow, this is unusual, but I like it. Two of them, I had a good conversation with, and one of them seemed really interested in me, and I was interested in her. We started talking, things were going well. Got close to the last train, so everybody had to head out, so we all kind of headed out together. And remember, got her, I think the line, which is the WeChat / WhatsApp / whatever you guys use nowadays. Messenger platform, all-in-one messenger and other things. And I thought, great, this is somebody I can, that I think things will go well with. Unfortunately, she got really busy, and we weren't able to meet up, even though she wasn't too far away from the suburban area where I was at. I still hadn't gotten the hang of the buses at the time. If I did, I knew it would have been a short bus ride. I realized later it would have been a short bus ride away. But again, her schedule was busy. She was really busy with her schedule, but we had promised to we had talked about hanging out at some point. Short time later, she ends up moving to another city because of work, and we kind of just lost contact. So that potential date, gone. During that same rooftop barbecue evening, I remember speaking to other expats about their experiences, and I remember one saying he loved it. It was great. He was very much a player, or so he said, and talked about how he'd been there a long time, and his Japanese was really good, so it was very easy for him to, talk to people in their native language. So he had a wider pool of people to talk to. In my case, I remember once a friend of mine visiting me in Japan. We went out to a restaurant. I remember seeing these two attractive girls sitting down at a table outside this restaurant, and we were trying to figure out where to drink and maybe grab a snack. And I said, hey, why don't we go there? It's like, all right. Sit down. Happened to sit at a table next to them. At a certain point, I built up enough courage to ask one of the girls in Japanese, excuse me, do you speak English? And the one that I asked said, or the one that I asked, she said a little bit, and then the other one points to her friend and she says, well, she speaks more. And we had a nice conversation that night. The one that spoke less fluent English, I ended up getting her line information, and we went on a subsequent date. And date wasn't bad. Had a nice dinner, albeit a little expensive, and then went to a bar afterwards, had a drink and chatted, and then last train out. But after that, she always seemed to be busy. She was very much the club girl, and I kind of was shying away from that. So I would ask her, hey, let's go to dinner. But our schedules couldn't sync, or she just wouldn't make the time. So that was the end of that one. Then there was another time where I remember going to a bar for a Halloween event. And luckily I had a costume that wasn't outlandish. It was just like a mask with a suit, so I kind of blended in with the suit. And sitting in a bar, looking around, trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Two girls walk in, sit down, next to me. I happen to look over at the one that's right next to me. We catch each other's eyes. She starts talking in English right away. I was kind of shocked. We start having this really good conversation. In the middle of the conversation, she's just looking at me. She gets up, kind of motions over to her friend and slides her friend in front between us and then sits down. And I know she did that because I had looked at her friend first, and she kind of looked at me, and I guess she was just playing wingman or wingwoman. And we had a good conversation too. Her English wasn't as good, but it was great. Went on subsequent dates afterwards. Things were pretty good. Did a little language exchange afterwards. But it didn't seem like the relationship was going anywhere. Like, it was more like just two friends hanging out, which was nice. But it would have been not, I did ask her, hey, are you interested in me? Are you interested in the language? She said, no, I'm interested in you. You're interested in me? I said, yeah, sure. But it didn't go beyond that. And it kind of came to a head when we had plans to hang out. And I think we had plans to hang out. And I said, well, let me check my schedule, because part of the time I didn't feel like there was anything there. But I figured, you know what, let me just be consistent. See if maybe it's just a cultural barrier. There has to be a certain number of dates or something. And when I finally said, hey, I'm available, I can hang out on that day, she said, oh, sorry, I can't. I gotta go, and I have to work late or do something with coworkers. I said, all right, well, next time. And that was the one thing I noticed with a lot of dating. You had to schedule stuff out a week plus, which is something I read about. Somebody had said on a blog or a vlog once, you have to schedule things out a month in advance in Japan, which I thought was ridiculous, but I can kind of see, I can kind of see how that happens because of work and other things. So this was about a week out when, I got back to her and says, oh, I can't. Lo and behold, because we had each other's Instagram, or we're following each other on Instagram, she posted up pictures going out and drinking with her, female friends. And I realized then that she really wasn't that serious. She kind of just lied to me. And I just stopped contacting her, and it seemed like, she understood that I understood, or, she just was waiting for me to respond, but that was the end of it. So I know I'm going through a lot of details, but basically dating in Japan, like I said before, it's a mixed bag. Some people will find dates very easily, again, because of the exoticness of the Western face or the non-Asian face. But for some people, you'll get ghosted. And Japanese people, because of face saving and because of being polite and being genki, as they say, gotta put on a nice face, they won't be honest with you. Even when you ask a direct question, they'll just be polite. They'll give you the polite answer. They won't give you the honest answer. And that's one of the things I didn't like about dating in Japan is, people don't have to be rude, but lying, to one's face, I think is worse than face losing honesty. So it's rough. Now, if anybody's gonna leave comments below hating on me, you're just gonna get deleted. I have no interest. Not asking for your opinions. That was my experience. That's what I saw, and I'm sorry, that's factually true. So no arguing with this point with me. Now, and like I said, there are some people will date and be successful and get married, have kids, the whole 9 yards. Other people, it's going to be difficult. As I've said before, cliche, I know, in China, things were a lot different. People are a lot more relaxed. They're way more honest with you generally about their intentions, or you can read them a lot easier. Japanese people are really good hiding those intentions. And so dating is quite a challenge over there. I'll say that. Doesn't mean there weren't good people that I dated. It just means that it just didn't work out because there was a barrier that seemed almost impenetrable, or it seemed like you had to do a ridiculous amount of work to get past in order to be successful in dating, or at least for me it was. But anyway, that's the end of this video. See you guys in the next one.